what happens after we die? I mean, it's a question, isn't it? People have been asking it forever. Faith, philosophy, lots of answers.
Right, but they're often abstract.
Exactly. But what if someone gave, like, a personal account of it all?
A first-hand story.
Yeah. So today on the deep dive, we're taking all that curiosity you shared with us about life's big transition
And we're jumping right in.
into one woman's incredibly vivid, really personal vision of stepping beyond, the veil. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take your sources, like the ones you sent about Rebecca Ruder Springer's amazing account, and we dig deep.
We pull out the key insights, the important bits.
Basically giving you the shortcut to getting really well informed on something fascinating. So our mission today, we're really unpacking Rebecca Ruder Springer's mURO's My Dream of Heaven.
And it's important to stress this isn't some dry theological text.
Not at all. It's described as a deeply felt, condensed record, an experience she had, she says, between life and death.
And her goal in writing it down was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, she wanted to comfort people, to uplift them about death. Simple, but wow, pretty powerful. So as we get into this deep dive, we'll explore her detailed descriptions of this heavenly place.
The relationships, how they continue.
The nature of existence there, the spiritual insights. It's all from her unique viewpoint.
It's quite a journey she lays out.
It really is. Get ready for a fascinating glimpse into one person's vision of eternity. Let's unpack this.
What's really striking right from the start is where this all came from. Springer says this vision, it wasn't something she looked for.
No.
No, it happened when she was critically ill, suffering intensely, physically.
Ah, okay.
So it wasn't like an academic study. It came straight out of a really difficult personal moment.
That feels significant. And she was really clear about why she shared it, right?
Absolutely. To bridge that gap, life and death, offer comfort.
She even said it was hard to describe how beautiful it was.
Right. And she clarified, look, this wasn't some divine revelation, not inspiration in that sense. It was a personal comfort for her during her suffering.
But she insisted it felt real, vivid.
Utterly real and vivid, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just a daydream or something fanciful. What do you think it was about that detail coming from suffering, not revelation, that hit home for people?
That's a great question. I think maybe the fact that she was suffering, something everyone understands.
Is it relatable?
Exactly. That, plus her humility saying, this was my experience, not a prophecy, probably made it feel more approachable, authentic.
More than some, official doctrine, perhaps.
Right. It clearly resonated. Lots of readers found real comfort in it. So much so, she even added an extra chapter later because people connected with it so deeply.
Wow. Okay, so let's step into that experience with her. What did she feel right at the beginning?
Well, her first descriptions are all about this heightened sense of reality. Perfection, almost. She talks about the environment, grass, flowers, trees, like Earth, but more vibrant. Way more vibrant. Like the color turned way up.
Kind of, yeah. A really vivid sensory overload, but in a good way. Beyond anything earthly.
And this vibrancy extended to the people there, too.
Oh, definitely. She saw children playing, adults walking peacefully, everyone dressed in white.
And buildings.
Exquisite homes, sparkling fountains, a crystal clear river. It sounds serene. Idyllic even.
But tangible, not just misty.
Very tangible in her description, yes.
And then comes a really key moment, right? An immediate encounter.
Yes. She describes meeting her brother who had passed away.
Wow.
And he immediately steps in as her guide. She talks about this very human feeling, longing for her family back on Earth.
Of course.
But her brother reassures her straight away. It really drives home this idea of connections continuing. They aren't just cut off.
Transformed, maybe?
That's a good way to put it. Transformed. And that continuity is shown beautifully with this river she describes.
Ah, the river experience. Tell us about that.
She calls it a really transformative moment. The water was warm, she says, and breathable.
Breathable water.
Yeah, allowing for joyful interaction within it. Entering the river seemed to symbolize washing away all the earthly struggles.
A kind of purification.
Exactly. Invigorating her for this new life. Preparing her. A spiritual renewal, really.
And after that profound experience, she finds a home waiting for her.
Yes. A beautiful home, she says, built just for her by her brother.
That's amazing. Personal.
Very personal. Exquisite architecture, surrounded by nature's beauty. But it wasn't just for, resting. No, it was also a place for study, filled with memories. This idea of a personalized space, one that evolves, it's quite different from a generic one-size-fits-all heaven, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really suggests an afterlife where your individual journey, your growth, it matters. Your history, your interests, they don't just vanish.
They're integrated somehow.
Exactly. Integrated into this new, higher existence. And get this, inside that home, there's a library.
The library, that's fascinating.
Isn't it? It represents the continuation of knowledge, of learning. It was filled with rare books, valuable ones, even some she owned on Earth. So learning doesn't stop.
Her brother explains that knowledge, interests, they carry over. The library is a place for growth, exploring higher truths. The journey of learning just deepens.
Okay, and the reunions she talks about sound incredibly moving.
Oh, very emotional. She reunites with her father, her mother, her sister. Deep love, heartfelt embraces.
You really feel that connection transcending death.
Absolutely. There's also this anticipation for another sister, Lou, and then a reunion with Oliver, her brother-in-law. And what's striking is how she sees them transformed.
Transformed how?
Renewed vitality, youthfulness, like seeing their truest, most vibrant selves fully restored. Which brings us to a really interesting point. What do people actually do there?
Right, is it just floating on clouds?
Springer's account says definitely not. She describes meaningful work, responsibilities.
Like her father.
Yes, he's dedicated to guiding souls who arrive maybe less prepared for heaven.
Helping newcomers adjust.
Sort of. And her mother finds immense joy in having her memory fully restored, something that had been a burden on Earth.
So rest in heaven isn't inactivity.
Not at all. It's fulfilling, purposeful engagement, activity with meaning.
And that purpose seems tied to ongoing growth, too.
Directly. Her brother keeps encouraging her to learn. The family even discusses past lives, the importance of spiritual growth.
So she's actively learning in heaven.
Yes. She expresses this real desire to learn more about its wonders. It shows the soul keeps evolving. It's not just static perfection upon arrival. And central to all this is her vision of Christ. She describes it as vivid, deeply emotional.
What was the feeling?
Emphasis on his victorious, loving nature. The whole atmosphere is described as being filled with adoration, thanksgiving for divine love. It brings this profound peace and joy.
Does she meet him directly?
She yearns for that personal encounter, and a young friend there, May, reassures her it will happen soon. That anticipation and the eventual meeting seems crucial to her spiritual journey there, a very personal connection.
She also talks about food, right? Heavenly fruits.
Yes, 7 kinds of exquisite, pure fruit. She mentions a large, delicious pear, another like cream.
And the significance.
They're eaten without labor, without care. They don't even stain. It just underlines that sense of effortless perfection, the ease of life there. And that ease permeates everything. The surroundings she describes. Just stunning.
Like the lake.
A lake of golden glory, yes. Surrounded by blossoming trees, joyful souls everywhere, harmonious sounds, praise. It creates this deep sense of peace.
It sounds like the environment itself lifts you up.
She says she felt invigorated, uplifted, as if the landscape itself pulses with divine energy.
As Rebecca's experience unfolds, the sheer scale of heaven becomes apparent. She describes encountering this truly breathtaking structure.
Ah, the great auditorium.
Yes, describe that.
Magnificent, she says. A massive dome held up by columns of amethyst and jasper. But here's the thing, no walls.
No walls, so completely open.
Exactly, creating this incredibly grand open space. She hears captivating speeches there from figures like Martin Luther and John Wesley.
Historical figures speaking.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and soft music from an unseen choir.
Yeah.
Then the whole audience joins in this huge anthem, praising Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just awe-inspiring. A place for collective spiritual connection. And building on that feeling, there's another key location, the sacred lake. This is different from the golden one.
Okay, what's its purpose?
It's presented as a source of solace, strength, spiritual rejuvenation, healing.
A place to recharge spiritually.
Precisely. Visiting it strengthens her spirit, deepens her understanding of heavenly mysteries. It restores that feeling of home, of belonging. It symbolizes, she suggests, true life itself, ongoing renewal.
And then the temple. That sounds central.
Absolutely. She described it as being filled with the glory of God. It evokes this deep reverence.
Who is there?
Angels, other celestial beings, all participating in worship. The experience is described as transformative, incredibly uplifting, a core place for divine communion. And finally, there's this journey she takes towards the celestial sea.
What's that like?
Filled with anticipation, excitement. She depicts this radiant, beautiful sea, golden sands, sparkling waters.
Sounds incredible.
And it culminates in these joyous reunions, songs of praise, as more loved ones arrive from Earth. It feels like the ultimate celebration of arrival and eternal connection.
So let's try to pull some threads together here. What does all this tell us about the nature of existence there? How do souls appear?
She says they retain their personal appearance, you recognize them, but they're etherealized,
Oh,
glorified.
changed but recognizable.
Yes. And how they move, it's not really flying like we think of it, more like graceful drifting,
Unelevated kind of movement.
effortless.
That seems to be the sense, yes. And what comes through so strongly is the power of divine love.
How so?
She observes how love for Christ actually enhances the radiance, the beauty of people there. It's not just a feeling, it's like the very essence of the place. It shapes all the relationships, makes them pure, unencumbered.
Which leads into her thoughts on marriage. She sees it as eternal.
Yes, rooted in the unity of souls. A divine connection, she says, not just a legal thing from earth. There's great joy described in reuniting with a beloved spouse. But that raises a common question, doesn't it? What about people married more than once? Earthly complexities.
Right. And she addresses that. She suggests the immortal spirit leaves behind those specific earthly attachments. In heaven, there are no conflicting ties like that. Love is pure.
How does she explain that coexisting?
She uses this interesting metaphor. She suggests each soul has its own unique place, maybe like separate rooms in a big house.
Separate rooms. Huh. Is that a typical idea in these kinds of accounts, or is that Springer's way of framing it?
That's a sharp question. While many accounts talk about relationships being transformed, that specific separate rooms idea for handling dual marriages feels quite distinctive to Springer.
It's a concrete image.
Very. A comforting way, perhaps, to visualize how individuality and pure love coexist without earthly knots. It feels like her way of reconciling something potentially confusing from our perspective.
Makes sense. She also mentions visiting Earth.
Yes, briefly. Seeing her son mourning at her casket, comforting her husband and friends, but unseen by them.
What's the takeaway from that?
It seems to reflect on that ongoing connection. Presence isn't just about physical bodies. She's still connected, still there in a sense.
And looking back on her whole experience, what are her main reflections?
A big one is connecting earthly life to eternity. Learning that every good deed, every act of love and kindness, it counts. It builds your eternal legacy.
So how we live here really matters there.
That's the strong implication. And she remains so humble about it all. She keeps saying, I'm not a prophet, not a seer.
Just sharing her experience.
Exactly, sharing a heartfelt experience. But her confidence is unwavering about those beautiful mansions the Savior promised.
And she expresses gratitude.
Profound gratitude for the experience itself, and especially for being able to bring comfort to others by sharing it. It reinforces her view of divine life as continuous growth and expansion of the soul.
Okay, wow. We've journeyed through Rebecca Ritter Springer's really intense, very personal vision of heaven. Pull out the key insights from her account. So what does this all mean for you listening?
Yeah, it really brings up a question for each of us, doesn't it? In a world where we're all looking for some comfort, some understanding about what happens next. What part of this very personal, very detailed story resonates most with your own deepest hopes? Or maybe your curiosities about what might lie beyond?
You can watch other deep dive broadcasts at thedivedeep.com. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again. Until then, check out our other books at worldsofwonderpublishing.com.